All right, cool. We are live. We are live across Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter. I think I'm even streaming this one to my personal Twitter. I want to welcome everyone for joining us today. Got a great podcast live stream, whatever we want to call it nowadays, with some pretty amazing folks here, and I'm excited to talk with everyone. And before we get started, I wanted to be a little informal, and you guys, Peko and D, maybe we'll start with D. Just tell us where you are in the world and how things are going for you.
Yeah, I'm here in Northern California, just outside of Sacramento, and I tell you, man, it's been hot days up here. 105, 110 degrees for the last 4 weeks, so it's been very, very warm up here.
Wow.
Yeah. You guys, you got I saw some fires up there. We're down in Southern California, and man, it was like as soon as the temperature at the beaches got close to 80, it was like fire central.
Yeah. So thankfully we're safe, but definitely it's hot.
Yeah.
Well,
cool. Well, thanks for joining. And Peko, let us know where you are in the world and how are things going where you are.
I'm based in Taipei, Taiwan, and I'm now at my home, and you see part of my home decoration here. Actually, this painting, my grandfather drove the painting.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So he's quite talented. He's also from the military before, back in the wartime. And yes, I'm in Taiwan, and we got last impact for COVID because last cases here, and I guess we are lucky to be here. But last travel so far it's been difficult for everyone out there, but so far so good. We still survive. That's the good news.
Yeah.
Good. You're surviving. I like that.
Yes. Yes.
And then you got John and I who decided to wear the exact same LunarCRUSH shirt. This is one of the first t-shirts that we made.
You're copying me, Joe. You're copying me. What's the deal?
We're giving away so many other t-shirts. All I have left is the old ones. Well, cool, guys. Well, I just appreciate you joining today. And, for the other ones that don't know us, I'm Joe Bazzani. I'm the CEO of LunarCRUSH. And then we've got John, our Chief Product Officer. And, today we wanted to bring you guys on and talk a little bit about some hardware, talk a little bit about what you guys are doing and how you work together. And, we're super excited to have you on. We've got some questions, I think, that some folks out there have asked. And I think we're going to be doing even some giveaways. Right, potentially. We're giving away coins, we're giving away hardware, we're giving away both, right?
Both, yeah.
Awesome.
Exciting. It's great.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I mean, I guess Peko, we could start with you a little bit. I mean, tell us a little bit about what you're working on. Tell us a little bit about Pundi and how you fit into that organization, and we can start with that and then talk a little bit about how you and D work together, and then maybe we'll bring up some charts here at some point, just for fun, to talk about that. But let's talk about it.
Sure. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, LunarCRUSH, to having us here for the live stream. And there are a lot of people in the live stream right now, and from different countries. Thank you for joining. And my name is Peko. My role in PundiX is from Russia, I believe. My role in PundiX is Chief Ecosystem Officer, and I'm responsible for partnerships and also marketing, communications. And I was originally working for Opera Software, which is one of the oldest browser in the world, which also tap into the crypto currency lately. So there are a lot of people, colleagues in our company working from Opera, from the software side, and as well as we have some colleagues from the device side. So we are coming from the background from both software and hardware, and And for PundiX, the purpose and the mission that we have is to bring in the software on the hardware, and the hardware can be used by most people in the world. So through hardware, we think that the virtual thing is more realized and more touchable, so that we have the device, which we call XPOS devices. And it has been evolved. It has been 3 years, almost 3 years from now, and we are starting with our own device, and now evolving to other devices like Dee has been working on. Is on a PAX device, having the XPOS platform on the PAX device. Not only PAX, we also have it on Ingenico, Verifone, and all those leading POS device manufacturer. And wow, this is very nice. Yes, this is our original model.
Yeah.
So basically, we were experiment all kinds of new feature on the first generation model, and then once the feature mature and or it has a lot of demands, we report it to uh, the non official models, which is on Verifone and Ingenico, and as well as the PAX model. And not
So
only we
real quick,
have
Peko, I've got a question about that.
sure.
So you have the Verifone device as well, and so it's the Pundi, it's the software that you guys are running on that device, but there's distribution of those devices, right? And so it's kind of a partnership vertical that you guys are working in.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So for Verifone, actually, Verifone have also Ingenico and PAX. They have all kinds of software that's incompatible with their POS devices, and they are also looking into how to enter this cryptocurrency playground, because they don't have specific people working on this. So we go to them, and then we introduce our solutions, and they are very much interested, and they want to see whether this is compatible on their devices, how we can make this platform be more visible, and also to empower the devices have more usage. So this is how the partnership start. So later, you will see more and more activities, not only in with Ingenico, also in different countries. Maybe you will see more action in Central Latin America, where the cryptocurrency is quite popular over there. So we will have more partnership and rollouts in that regions, and also there will be more in US. We see a lot of PAX devices deployed from D as well. So it's very exciting. We are not only have our own device, but also we tap into other manufacturer devices, which is for us as a startup is more. I think it's more like a good strategy, not just to tap into other devices and have our platform more visible.
Have you seen in recent? So you said you're moving into Latin America. I mean, is that something that's kind of been going for a while? What kind of growth have you seen there? Is it recent? And because you kind of said we're seeing a lot of growth there. I mean, is this something that's happening?
Yes, the
recently?
transaction activity is quite active. So after we deploy the units all over the world, over 30 countries in the world, and we have seen that the transactions has been very active in Latin American countries. So, for example, in Brazil, in Chile, in Colombia, Argentina, they were very much the transaction activity is quite active. So that's why we are focusing our resource in those areas. We also have our people on the ground in Brazil to help the customer on board. The language issue is very important. We have a local people to help out with the merchants to onboard the system. There might be for some merchants, they might think this would be a little bit complicated. There are many things that they need to learn. So we have the people on the ground to support.
Good
Cool.
question. Is the demand coming, because you
Yes.
said there's a lot of transaction volume. Is the demand coming from consumers wanting to spend crypto, or is the demand coming from retailers that want to accept crypto?
Sorry, I
Sorry,
cannot hear you clearly. Maybe my connection is not good. Maybe you repeat your questions again.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Is the demand, because you said there's a lot of transaction volume, is the demand coming from consumers that want to spend crypto, or is it coming from retailers that want to accept it?
It's actually coming from purchasing crypto. So we see from the statistics about 70% of our transaction from the XPOS coming from the purchase the cryptocurrency. If you see the cryptocurrency adoption, we are still in the stage of acquiring. So spending is possibly not so much at this moment, but the acquiring activity is quite active.
And when you say acquiring, you mean someone's at a coffee shop and they want to buy Bitcoin.
Yes.
So using it like an exchange of sorts, like just trying to get their hands on crypto because they don't know where to get it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
For example, we have shops like next. I think it's a grocery, like a the most significant thing is actually in front of the bank, and then the newsstand they will put the sign like buy BTC here, and then people just walk through it, and then you say, I would like to have a BTC at a newspaper stand, and then it's more like they can spend a small amount of money, and then they can try to to get their first crypto when walking through those places. So it's a curiosity, and it's more like giving them an impression that you don't need to have a lot of money to purchase a crypto, and you just have a small amount of money, and then you can actually own crypto. So this is something that we see we are different from others. So maybe a lot of activities is coming from the trading side, a large amount of money. But for normal people, for the merchants, and they can start to have a additional revenue stream by having a device and providing additional inventory, that I should say, and then to generate a small amount of revenue by selling Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency.
So I think to be go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
No, I think it's just listening to. I think I was listening to Mike Novogratz talk the other day, and it's still very difficult for the average consumer to get onboarded with cryptocurrency. And if you think about the generation that might be a little bit older, and they don't know how to get it, and even setting up a Coinbase account, or even people that are here in the US setting up some of their basic exchanges, but now they're diving a little bit deeper and they're trying to say, hey, what is this DeFi thing? Or, what other cryptocurrencies are out there that I could potentially purchase? And they're like, what exchange is it on? How do I do it? And, we're talking about just onboarding people. And now if you can walk into almost any restaurant, and essentially they're a bank now. And I think, Peko, we were talking about this a little bit before. Basically, every restaurant is a place where you can go and get cryptocurrency. And that's mass adoption. That's how you get in it. It might not necessarily be transacting in it, but just the fact that you can get it there is pretty amazing. So I think that's awesome. And I think it kind of leads us in a little bit with Dee. I want to talk a little bit about what you're working on and how you work with Peko. And she talked a little bit about onboarding, and John was talking about onboarding people. I mean, you're on the ground here in the US. How do you guys work together a little bit, and tell us what you're kind of hearing from that side as far as people getting onboarded.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. I work with Peko. It seems like at odd hours of the night, I'll send questions or whatever, but she's definitely been great in supporting my efforts with the PAX technology devices. As you know, here in America, things are a bit different in that people are very used to doing things a certain way, and I'm talking about credit cards. So you have to cater to that audience of having a device that accepts regular payments as well as the cryptocurrency. And so the PAX devices give us that avenue to have those dialogues with merchants and retailers, especially now with the uptick in America when it comes to contactless payments because of COVID-19. So because of those features, we are able to have very good discussions within the payments industry. And from there, we're talking to industry leaders that have sales teams that are driving, 10 to 100 devices in a direction, depending on what the sales vertical is. And so we're in negotiations with a lot of those different companies. And the question that they have is more along the lines of contactless payments. And as Peko said, they don't know how to onboard into cryptocurrency. So when they see the XPOS solution on the PAX A920, it's an eye-opening moment for a lot of leaders in the payments industry, because they see it as, hey, this is very simple. And the word that I get all the time is fast, how fast the transactions are processed from a customer perspective, right? And that's what they want to see. Is they don't want to see a technology that's lagging in processing speed when everybody's using contactless payments, which is much faster than swiping a card or putting it in a chip reader. So it's on par with that level of speed. So those are the things that we continue to work on. And we're seeing a rise in customers or merchants wanting to buy and acquire the PAX 8920. Very excited about it.
I'd like to understand just how this whole ecosystem between X Wallet, XPOS, and XPass works. So let's say I go to the coffee shop and I've got $20. I'm going to spend $20. My coffee is $4, and I want to buy $16 of Bitcoin. So I give you $20 and swipe a credit card, and I'm getting that Bitcoin, that $16 in Bitcoin back. Do I have to have the X wallet to do that, or can I use any wallet?
Or you have this card.
You have that card, so you're using that card. You're swiping that card, and then the money goes back into my X wallet.
Yes, you can actually, when you have this card, and you will actually get the cryptocurrency, and it actually works like a Metro card. So it's like top up and spend. So you come to our XPOS to top up the cryptocurrency in this card, and then later on you go to any shops that has the XPOS to spend the crypto that you acquire. So any shop in the world. So there's no boundary. And if you would like to, it's actually like a cash. If you don't pair your card with our X wallet, then if you lose this card, you actually will just lose it like cash. But the X wallet is a procedure that you can actually register your ownership on this card. So when you lose this card, and then you pair with X wallet, and you can move all the tokens from this card to a virtual wallet. So the first step you will have is this card, and then later on, when you're familiar with wallet, the wallet app, and then you figure out to do it, and then you can transfer your tokens into X wallet, and X wallet is served as a door to the other cryptocurrency wallet, so you can transfer the token to other blockchain wallet or exchange, and to continue your crypto journey from there.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. And another thing about that, John, with Ethereum and Binance, we do have on-chain payments. So you can have a BNB wallet or an Ethereum ERC20 wallet that you can use directly within the X wallet function, or just a regular wallet that interfaces with the XPOS as well. Bitcoin is a different animal because of the, you know, block speed is not that fast. But
Right.
so to answer your question,
You mean people don't want to have to wait 22 minutes to pay for their?
right?
I mean, it's an issue. It's definitely an issue. I mean, I think I was looking at something the other day talking about how many transactions per second someone like Visa does versus Bitcoin, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
And so, you know, to say that it's going to be a payment function right now across even a subset of the population is quite out of reach.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
So what does setup look like for a retailer? Like, what do they have to do? And does it vary tremendously between different countries?
You mean the retailer? What the retailer
Yes.
look at as POS?
Yes, like for a retailer to say, "Hey, I want to get started with this." How does that look? Is it the same in every country that you go?
I think for there's they're quite different. I mean, for the developed countries, for the currency rather stable countries, they may start with the early adopter. So the early adopter maybe you know the best, like from people who are operating a crypto business, or they were already in crypto before, and then they would like to try to expand their cryptocurrency ownership to other customer. But in Latin America, it's quite popular, and we will see more large scale deployment to deploy these solutions. So, for example, like the payment gateway company will actually talk to us and to see whether we can integrate onto their existing ecosystem. So this is something that we are working on. So there are two folds of the adoption here.
Cool. We do have a question here from our buddy Ryan that says, if possible, I'd like to confirm if every transaction processed on the XPOS requires NPXS.
Right. Actually, every transactions, NPSS is act like a gas for transactions. So basically, for user, they don't necessarily have NPSS, right? Otherwise, they might not be able to complete a transaction. So what we designed the system is that, for example, you have Bitcoin, and then it's work like a what exchange that's, and if you want to transfer Bitcoin to another people, then we will deduct it from your Bitcoin account, and then we use this proceeding the amount of fees, and then we will actually it's our revenue, and then we will transfer into NPSX. So in that way, from the consumer point of view, they don't need to have NPSX,
Right.
and we are doing in our backend.
So just to clarify, so if I'm doing a transaction and I'm using Bitcoin to pay for something, is that being cleared on the device with NPXS though? So is that an entry into that blockchain as well? And so that's the crossover, but it's coming back to me in Bitcoin, or is this just you guys have created an exchange basically for Bitcoin through the device and it is ignoring NPXS completely?
We are not ignoring NPSX, because every transaction that we would charge the fee, and the fees will be in NPSX. So we will either buy from the market and then at the end of each quarter we remove the proceed that we have. So it will require NPSX
Okay,
for
so
the utilities.
So the answer is probably yes.
Yep.
Cool.
You actually just yeah, good.
Well,
Yeah,
just to
because
clarify, I think what he's asking is if I'm transacting in Bitcoin, is that also a transaction for NPXS at that moment
yes,
to clear it? And I think the answer was yes.
yes, yes, yes.
You mentioned fees. I'd love to hear more about the fees of using crypto versus Visa or MasterCard and how that all comes into play. Because I think that's a pretty attractive difference to retailers that are constantly
Yes.
paying 3% on credit card fees.
Mhm.
And that's a really good rate, 3%.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. So what do the fees look like with
Maybe he can answer it in detail because he dealt with the fees every day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So with fees, we have a different model. So, crypto is supposed to be a disruption mechanism to whatever an industry that you're, invading or getting involved with. And so what we have is we reward merchants transaction fees and a profit revenue share system. So they get a certain percentage of the fees back as a revenue to their company, which offsets whatever they're paying in credit card fees. And in some cases, they're actually turning a profit by simply just accepting cryptocurrency with the XPOS software.
well, okay.
Yeah.
Claudio says we can choose the fees. And so do you give them like options based on
Yeah.
kind of a spread that's out there? And so they can kind of compete almost against each other. That's really cool.
Yeah. Every merchant is not cookie cutter. So you want to make sure that you're having more of a consultative approach, to dealing with them, to understand their business model, to understand where they are in their business, and offer solutions tailored specifically to each merchant. So that's why we leave the fees open to make sure that we're addressing those needs of the merchant.
And are you finding a similarity between the type of merchants that are onboarding quicker? Is there an adoption between some merchants that's a little bit higher than others right now?
I think so. You have obviously the cryptocurrency crowd, and what's nice about crypto is you do have a lot of business owners, right? That have small to medium sized businesses, and so I see a lot of people reach out and contact me, via website or social media and say, hey, I want to try your devices out in my store or my retail environment, and we issue those right away to them, and train them on the software and get them going.
So would you say is it like more like restaurant oriented, or I mean, is there kind of big box stores that are going after it? And that maybe kind of segues a little bit into, in the COVID world a little bit. We see, you go to maybe a fast food restaurant and you go to a drive-through now and they've got the device way outside. I mean, Are you guys starting to, maybe it wasn't so much on the fast track before, but maybe now it is with contactless and distance? And is there innovation that you guys are working on when it comes to that stuff too? Or did you see coming down the pipe?
I definitely see an uptick, and we have, from restaurants to coffee shops, to even Bitcoin ATM companies that are looking for alternatives to be more portable, more mobile. So it really depends on what's going on. I wish COVID had not happened in a way, because we were slated to do a lot of marketing and traveling within the United States with these big payment circuits that we have here as far as industry leaders, which would have allowed us to get out there and demonstrate this technology within the payments industry at a very large scale. So 2021, once travel picks back up, we'll be able to address those as well. But I'm very surprised, even with all of that's going on, people are still calling, wanting to adopt this technology in their business.
Yeah. You got a good question that just came on. Can I buy and use an XPOS when I'm not a merchant? Let's say a private sort of exchange device from Jan Kroon.
Yeah, you could.
I think that's a super interesting piece. You guys are fitting into mass adoption, and the more I think about it, I mean, I love it just because of how simple it is. And you know, it just transacting and anyone transacting. And if you're a business, just being able to purchase one of these devices and have someone pay you while they're there, and even maybe potentially a services business. You know, if you are a startup and you're taking funding and you're taking these things potentially in cryptocurrency, and it becomes very difficult to, you know, for people that might not be traditional into the space, and they're saying, you know, well, I've got this Bitcoin or I've got something else, how do I send it? And for them to just have the more traditional and trusted way of just using a card, and now they're on to cryptocurrency versus fiat. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. So I think for cryptocurrency that is going to got a lot of attention, including the regulators. Yeah. They are looking into this part and to try to get this space regulated. So we believe that there will be a lot of regulatory procedure when we onboarding a customer or partners. So back to the question whether you can use as an individuals. If you have established a business, like a small business, we would need a license, that the business license. So in that way, that will be also very credible for you and your customer when acquiring cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. So, and also as well as to comply with the regulations. So if you're individuals, and we encourage you to, if you want to be in this business, register yourself as a business unit, and then to start.
So to that, I guess that's kind of an extension of that question. I mean, does someone need to be an LLC? I mean, do they need to be, can they, so I think Jan was asking, can he just buy one, have it at his house, and use it as an exchange? What you're saying is that he needs to be in whatever country that they're in. I mean, maybe in the US, and D, you need to be an actual business. You need to be an LLC, C Corp, S Corp. You need to be something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would definitely encourage that, just from a tax perspective as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think BTCKING has experience go through those process before, and you can share your experience before and after, like you get into the business in terms of individuals, and then now you have your own business, and definitely will expand your customer base more, right?
Yeah. I think I went through that process myself. I started out just having it as an individual, but clearly once you start to deal with money and you see the amount of volume of money, you're like, whoa, let me create and form me a LLC real quick, just to make sure that I have all bases covered. Let me look at the most crypto friendly state in the United States and form a corp there to cover all bases. Let me go and see if I can talk to someone at the SEC, which actually happened, and show them this technology and make sure all bases are covered. So, been very fortunate to be able to have that type of access to get clearance, and make sure that we're doing things the right way. But from the average person, I would definitely say start a corporation. That doesn't mean you have to go on and be a full-on business outshoot like BTCKING is, but just start a corporation and have it for your XPOS device so that you can do your own transactions. And trust me, at the end of the year, when you hand everything over to your accountant, they'll be smiling and saying thank you that you did it the right way. So.
I think that's, it's great advice, and it's where you guys have to fit into right now. And I think it's going to bring up a larger conversation later on. And I know you guys are working, Peko, you're probably working in a lot of different countries, and we're talking about the US here, but it just, for such a simple and solid technology, and the efficiencies that are going to be created from it, for the average consumer to go have to spin up a business, be an LLC, if you're in California, pay the $800 a year, maybe you're in Delaware, maybe you're some of these other places, man, that is a lot of hoops to jump through to just create more efficiency, and it's and I think that's part of the problem here in the US is they just haven't solidified some of the regulation and the laws. And it's causing a lot of people to drag their feet or potentially move somewhere else and kind of run that business. So, I mean, it's good that you guys are there on the front lines and helping people and people, it's such a great thing that people are creating a business in order to do it. I mean, that tells you a lot about where people want to go and how they want to transact.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely.
So John, do we want to talk about some of these questions here? And I mean, maybe we'll talk a little bit about giveaway.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a couple things here. One, Peko has been so kind as to answer some of the questions on Twitter here and give away some PundiX token. Maybe explain a little bit about how that'll work to the questions that we answer. Oh, she's on mute.
Okay, so we will pick some questions that I have already asked in the chat, and then I will pick some questions, and once I pick those questions to answer, and I will DM you for the gift. So we will need to have X Wallet to receive the gift because I would like to try it about our new feature, which is a crypto gift that would work in chat app, Telegram. So to experience that, how powerful our solution is. So give me some time because my laptop is sleeping. So I would check some questions. Okay, so the first question that I have, I will answer. That would be quick starter and asking about why MPS is still present in both Ethereum and Binance chain. And I mean, do you have a future plan to host the token in a single chain, or are you going to develop all your own? So to answer this question, thank you for this very, very good questions. We are developing a blockchain called FunctionX. So the FunctionX itself is to help to assist with the cross-chain transactions. And the first stage that we have is to have all our transaction on chain. So including whenever you would like to transfer token from Ethereum to another blockchain, or you would like to transfer Bitcoin from Bitcoin blockchain, or you want to transfer other BEP2 token, which is on Binance chain, and we can support our FunctionX will support the cross-chain transaction, and it will be on chain. So to answer this question, yes, we are developing a single chain that can to do the cross-chain transaction. And in the future, maybe some of you heard about, we are also developing a blockchain phone. So not only the financial transaction, in the future, we would like to see more and more data that can be transacting on our FunctionX blockchain. So this is a multifunctional blockchain, and we started as from our own business, which already have the real use cases. So we're doing step by step.
I have a question about that one. I mean, when you're doing this cross chain, I mean, maybe yours is about the phone, John. But when you're doing
I want the phone.
I mean, this cross chain transaction that's on chain. I mean, is this something that you guys have been working on for a while, and is that scalable potentially? I mean, to other blockchains as well?
Yeah. When this is actually we worked quite a long time. This is what all our followers also complain about, that we propose this idea that to have this blockchain scalable for our transactions, and it's take us for a while to develop it, and it's actually more difficult than we thought. But now we have the testnet, and it's up and running. And within 7 days, we already have 100,000 transactions, and then we already create more than 1 million blocks. So it's supposed to be a scalable solution. And the next step that we will do testnet 2.0 to add more functionality in there. We will have this the news pretty soon in our August hash out, which is our development progress newsletter that would report our plan. So for these transactions, cross-chain transaction, yes, it's been in the plan since 2 years ago. And we're starting to implement it and starting from this year. So you will see a lot of testnets going on here. Actually, right now, you can go to functions.io to take a look at our status.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's not an easy problem to solve. It's a tough nut to crack. I mean, people like Lightning and other people have been trying. Yeah, they've been trying to do this for years. And so that's why I want to know a little bit about the time period, because I mean, I would expect it would take a couple of years to figure that out based on how many people have been trying to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people want to solve this problem. It's not easy. That's for sure. That's why it takes time. And you see a lot of blockchain project want to do it, and then they spend a lot of time as well to make it happen. So do we. And it's not easy. And also there are some existing issues of the blockchain, cost of transactions, and also the adoption of the validators. It's in the server fees. You have to consider all those factors in there and how to make it efficient. So this is why we keep testing and then to make it a more efficient solution as possible.
I have to ask, when is Bob available? I'm just going over this page and I'm like, it's amazing.
Yes, I know, right? So I think COVID really gave us a big hit in terms of the production schedule. When we were before COVID, we already have several. Actually, we will a total. We will have seven modules coming out, and before COVID, we are coming to the zero, the module zero, and then we showed it in a CES, and then COVID hit, and hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so when COVID hit, the supply chain has been messed up. So there are a lot of back orders, backlogs, and then there are some supplies has been suspended. So that create a difficulty for us to work with the suppliers. So we decided that we should focusing on our blockchain first, and then for the supply chain, and they are kind of sorted out themselves. There are a lot of issues in the supply chain, and we would like to give them some time to sort out the issues. And then at the same time, it's more importantly, we have the blockchain more stable to accommodate the needs from the phone side. So currently, we are working. We have our 4 resources working on the blockchain first. So you will see the mainnet come out before the phone. So that's the situation, and also we do have interest from the hardware partners. So we are working on different solutions and to see how to integrate our blockchain in our the non-hardware solution providers, and still it's a trial period at this time, and there are a lot of communication because some of the big hardware company they don't know how to start, so there are a educational period. So for example, like how to store the private seed, private keys, in which levels, those kind of issues that we are devising and also working together with the hardware partners. So be patient a little bit. I bet I know there are a lot of people they're waiting for the phone. Me too. So, but it's gonna take some time for sure, and we apologize for this delay.
Yeah. Why did you let it take so long? Why did you let this stop you? No. You pushed through very well.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
a
think
great.
it's also our issues that before XPOS coming out, you can see there are more than 11 modules that we have tested. So I don't know whether Dee has remembered the time back in the time that the original model that we have for XPOS is black.
Yeah.
Have two screens,
Yep.
and then becomes one screen, and then it's more elegant. So we love to test a lot of modules. And
Well, you kind of talked about an interesting. You talked about an interesting piece there with private keys, right? And
right.
I think probably in the last week, I've had a couple of friends. One friend dropped his phone into the ocean, and so he lost his Google Authenticator account. And then another one just hadn't logged in a while, and some DeFi project that he bought was mooning, and so he was freaking out, and he lost his 2FA. So like the fact, like hardware, and then potentially hardware like in your house, and I'm just envisioning like the phone and having everything in one place, but also backed up to potentially another hardware device as well in your house. It's like you now have a bank at your house that has some of these things. And that's what's going to, like, again, the mass adoption piece, which is so important. It's going to make it simple for people, because the anxiety and the text messages that I have flooding in from my friends, how do I get all of this back? I was like, how many times do I have to set you up on these things before you figure it out? But it's hard. It's very hard. And if it's not what you do day in and day out, and I think sometimes as deep as we are into the industry, it's like, well, grab your private keys, do your 2FA. Aren't you buying that on this exchange? Like, here's where you find that. It's very simple. And they're like, what sites are you checking? I don't even know what you're talking about. Right. So I think it's so important to get over the hump and make it this simple and make it in one place. And you guys are doing that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Talking about 2FA and all these password solutions, and we are actually, and also other payment provider, we are actually working on a biometrics login standards. So now in W3C are talking about this biometrics login standard. So in the future, you just use your face or fingerprint to log in. So you don't need a password. So let's see how it goes in this industry, because that would make everybody's life much more easy. And there will be and as we know that there are actually a lot of data leak happened. Your password has been leaked. Actually, the password is quite dangerous to use. So the industry now is investigating, also exploring a way to have an easy access with your biometrics locked in solutions. So we are also in W3C and also follow up this solution very closely. Hopefully, we can come up with more easy locked in for our users.
Well, you're perking D's ears over there. Was that like an announcement right there? Biometrics unlock. That's pretty awesome.
It just said everybody's like in the industry were actually looking into this solution. We have a background working with W3C before, and so this is something that actually not just us, as everyone, like PayPal or eBay, Amazon, they are looking into it. So
awesome. And so that was, I think, one question. Do we want to go through a couple of more of these and pick some out? I mean, if we don't have enough time, we can always just let people know who the winners are in a big tweet storm later on as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
John, to your interest in Bob, I think with COVID and everything that's happened in 2020, definitely see a market for more privacy when it comes to mobile phones, right? I mean, it's almost a necessity to have that now.
Agreed. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will answer questions from LYTSOUT. I don't know how to pronounce this Stolt. So he asked why he or she is the wallet KYC verified? I think this is I also have a lot of fight with our legal team that our internal have a lot of discussion about this about whether we would like to verify our users. But the trend is, if you want to reach a mass adoption, it has to be because of the anti-money laundering compliance. This actually has a much more impact than we do, than we want to do what we want to do. So we started as verify our users, and when you working with our or owning our new tokens or conducting a financial service on our the app, and then you will need to be verified. But now it has to be compulsory verification, because that would allow us to be more to have a license and also well adopted with the existing payment provider. So they are all following the law, and if we want to work with them, and we have to do that. So
The best way to
this
get
is
around that is to use cash, fiat.
yeah. So
Joke.
wherever this is relevant to fiat, that has to be verified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense with, like you're saying, mass adoption. And I mean, even if people are even thinking that if they're not KYCing and they're technically, they can get around it. I mean, it's, unless you are taking every precaution known to man. I mean, if you are moving large amounts of money, I mean, there's GPS pings. People are gonna. I mean, look at what happened with the Twitter hack. I mean, it took them. I mean, those guys were routing through how many different VPNs, and it took them like literally 36 hours to find them. It was like there was like they were sleeping for 16 hours at that time, and they still found these guys. Like, it's not, I think that narrative in the space is a difficult one, and it's more about the ease of use and the transaction speed, the cross border piece to it. There's so much there, so. People still want to be anonymous, though.
Yes.
So I think that's the piece: is how do you create the trustless anonymity, but also provide the safety and the compliance.
That's correct.
Yeah. So we'll do. What do you think? We're coming up on the hour here. We'll do one more of these questions, and then we say we're going to pick 10, John?
I don't know if we gave a specific number, but let's see what we can get through. And plus, we got another special surprise at the end.
We also answered some of the questions that asked in the chat. Maybe we can count that in. So because
we'll save some of these.
So there are some XRP supporter asking when SRP on SPOS. So to answer this question, we really when we onboarding a token on XPOS, we actually will do KYC as well. So and also we need a legal opinion about these tokens or coin is for utility purpose, not for security purpose. Because if you for security purpose, that would be another different playground. There's a different set of compliance. So if you want us to work with a certain project or certain coin, and we would like them to approach us first, and then to really work with us very closely to go through this process. Because sometimes we do reach out to coins and also to encourage them to list, but there's some there are legal threshold expect to be meet. So if XRP supporter want XRP on XPOS platform, encourage XRP official staff to work with us very closely and also to make it through. So please feel free to invite them to contact us. We will definitely work with them.
Nice. Not to plug our own product too much, but what you're saying is you want the XRP community to rally around this idea and push it,
Yeah.
which is a very interesting thing because it's just your customers saying, "Hey, this is the next feature set we want." I think I see a product here. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I get asked that a lot in America. When is XRP going to be listed on the XPOS?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they're great about adoption. I mean, they know the next step. They know the place to go. They say, "Hey, how do we get this out there?" And it's marketing for them. And so, I mean, we're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we welcome to have them on board. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And so, John, you said we've got one other kind of bigger announcement.
Well, I'd say I want D to announce this. I think it's something that he's behind here, and I think we should post a link in the chat here, and we'll also follow up with the link to it on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, D, all yours.
All right. If you are in the United States of America and you have a viable retail location business, there are qualifications to be considered. I am giving away a free PAX A920 to a selected business owner that wants to accept cryptocurrency in their particular retail environment. You will also be able to process cryptocurrency along with contactless payments. And so we wanted to offer this as a thank you to the LunarCRUSH community. And thank you for helping us organize this event to give exposure to XPOS and crypto adoption here in America. And it's very exciting to work along with you guys. And I can't wait to see you in person.
That's awesome.
That's the announcement today, and we'll make sure that we ship it out in a reasonable amount of time. We use FedEx two-day shipping here to make sure that it gets to the customer in a pretty quick manner.
Yeah,
Very
I would
cool.
like to endorse this pass device because it's very powerful. Thanks to D to make it happen because it's combined with WarPay, which is a via payment processors that can process all kinds of payment via payment, credit card, Samsung Pay, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and also XPOS.
Yes.
So this is truly powerful devices, and also it's available in U.S. market and right there with BTCKING. So I also talk about when we were expanding into other devices and then we would like to leverage the existing hardware provider. So they provide better hardware in the future, and then also multiple functionalities like PaaS devices. And actually, PaaS has a store, app store, and then you can also expand it. The apps on the PaaS store. So it's pretty powerful. Thanks, B, to sponsor this device.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah. This is something that our community in cryptocurrency and blockchain needs. And I want to publicly thank WorldPay because they partnered with me to be the first payment acquirer that took this on. It took over 1,000 emails to get this through legal at WorldPay, but we got it done, and I'm very happy to offer this to the American people. Yeah.
Very cool.
So we'll post a link in the chat here, and we'll follow up with the link to it on Twitter, and people can just fill that form out, and then a winner will be chosen in the next couple days. Is that right?
Yes. In 2 days, on Friday, I will announce the winner, and please fill out the form, and we'll be in contact with the winner for sure, and we'll announce it on Twitter.
Awesome. Well, cool guys. Well, you know what? I really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about what you're working on. I think what you guys are doing for this space is amazing. I can't wait to meet everyone in person when we can actually do that again and get on some planes here. Right now, the only planes that are coming over are the XPOS, like cargo planes, shipping stuff over. Once we can put humans on those again, you know, I'm looking forward to, you know, Peko, you coming over, us going over and getting together. So thank you guys again. You know, PundiX, BTCKIng.us. Go check them out. You know, you guys want to just give a quick shout out to your Twitter channels just to make sure everyone's following you in the right spots.
Yeah. The lady first.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate Joel and John from LunarCRUSH to giving us the opportunity and time and stage to talk live to all people here on Twitter and also follow the live stream. So there will be more exciting things coming up from our side. COVID did change a lot, and also we adjusted our strategy as well to develop more online based transactions. So hopefully we will bring more good news in the future. Now the feature has been developed. We do need testing. So we are more conservative, but we would like to bring a better experience to our users. And please feel free to try our D app in X Wallet, which is a crypto zoo that for you to just pick a side to help you to mitigate the risk of purchasing cryptocurrency, accumulate your assets. So try that out, and we have successfully protected people's profits. And when you decided to buy Lcoin, and strongly suggested you to try it out. So,
Very cool.
And thank you this time.
Very cool.
And for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bitcoin King OM instead of any other way. So that's how you can find me. I just want to say thank you again, John and Joe, for the opportunity to be on your platform today. And guys, LunarCRUSH is doing a big service to crypto adoption by bringing real social tools that we can understand visually to see exactly what's going on in the crypto sphere. And I got a feeling that LunarCRUSH got some major sauce that they haven't really let go yet. And I'm very excited to see what that looks like. So thank you guys again for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure to spend this time. And thank you, Ms. Peko, as well.
Thank you both. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
And thanks to our viewers.